Boom, boom, boom. Hey guys, welcome to the Moe and O photo show. My name is Omar Gonzalez.
And I'm Moe Morales.
And we are coming to you from Skype, OBS, Zoom recorder. What a fiasco recording.
Appleness.
And an Apple iPhone. We're getting better each week.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's what life's all about, is moving forward, not backwards.
We recorded 2 shows that have never seen the light of day.
Hitting record on your Zoom is very important.
Well, tell them about your card. What happened to your card?
Oh, so we did a wonderful... Wasn't that good? We did a wonderful episode a couple days ago, and I was watching everything on my Zoom, and everything was looking great. And then when I went to go upload it so that Omar can have a crisper audio, there was nothing on the card. And I'm like, that's weird, because I know I'm not crazy. I saw the numbers going up, this, that, and the other, but I never played it back on the Zoom until I tried uploading it. And then at that point, it was too late. And then I actually tried a different memory card, and it worked. So I put that the first memory card in my camera, and it said, card format invalid.
Wow, so it was corrupt. And we always talk about this. We talk about people who defend one card slot, and cards go bad. I've had cards go bad. It doesn't matter. We had a good time hanging out.
Yeah, so I mean, ultimately, you guys lost out, but I was able to talk to my buddy Omar. So
I know, right?
Screw you guys, go home.
In this video, those of you stumbling upon this podcast, this is a mostly photography tech podcast between 2 buddies, 2 old high school, 4th grade grammar school buddies, and we just love talking to each other. So we hit record, and come join us.
No, actually, if you're just joining us, shame on you. Shame on you.
We have almost 1,999 subscribers on YouTube.
We're almost big. I mean, besides my waistline, but the rest of us,
All right, we had a camera announcement, so we decided to hit record to sort of, work out our glitches, but also talk about a new camera announcement. I can't believe they named it with this letter. Can you?
No, I can't, but you know what? Sony's always doing something, right?
So it is the ZV-1, and
Nikon is not upset about that at all.
I know, right? There's so many letters in the alphabet that we have to pick the Zedd, Z.
Right. I mean, they could have gone S for Sony, right?
B. Like B is universally B. The BV1. Right. That would have been cool.
That would have been like a Star Wars droid, though.
Yeah, BV1. The camera would do that when you shoot. It's like
his little legs come out, starts rolling around.
BV1. Yeah, and it follows you.
Take that picture.
It's like.
I love that noise. Do it again.
So the Zedd, we're just going to annoy the Americans. The ZV1 is Sony's newest little vlogging camera. So let's get some specs. What do you got?
So it's aimed specifically for vloggers, right? It still does take amazing pictures from what I'm hearing, but it's got real-time autofocus and video, right? It's got a mic jack. It's got a wonderful articulating screen, as opposed to over the top as the A6400, A6600, like the one Omar is showing.
Yeah, this one right here, this is the 6400, and the screen is okay, but you have to add a cage if you want to put a microphone up there, because it would block the screen. So they did away with that.
Right. So if you're going to vlog with it, the A6400 or the A6600, you have to remember that you're going to have to create that you have to use that cage to put the microphone to the side if you want to see yourself in the actual viewfinder. You
know what I find funny? I find totally funny about these vlogging cameras that come out. They're very exciting, and you go on YouTube, and I wonder if it's like one of those Inception moments that there's excitement over the vlogging camera because the people that are talking about it are the vlogger kind of thing. Mm-hmm. As opposed to does this affect Uncle Bob who wants a new camera at all?
It's funny you say that. Because this is what I thought of, because obviously we're in the community, but we're not in the community, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know everything. We didn't have a sample given to us 3 months ago.
Yeah, totally.
Don't say anything before embargo. But anyway, so my thing was this camera coming out for vloggers. Does that mean are Sony getting to the point where they're going to knock on your door and hey, Omar, we're building cameras. We're going to make one just for you. What do you want?
Yes.
they're getting so specific. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So wasn't the A6400 for the vloggers? Wasn't the A6600 for the vloggers?
Yeah.
Now the Victor One is for the vloggers.
I just wonder if consumers looking for a new camera. You know, they said they kind of, this is very good for vlogging, like really good. My only knock on it is kind of the lens not being a little wider, you know, because when I do vlog, it's usually on vacation or travel, and I like to show where I am. And it's very like head centric, like the size of your head right now.
Ooh, muy grande.
So
that's the first thing I thought, because like first of all, the lens is not really wide enough, especially when you're working with a 1-inch sensor. You got a super crop.
Yeah.
And then not it's not a super crop. You have a crop.
Yeah, it's crop.
But what I'm saying is you're losing the aperture. So even though it's like 1.8 to 2.8, you're actually working at like 4.5, 7.1. Because of the 1-inch sensor, as opposed to the APS
I don't think that much.
APC sensor.
1.8 becomes kind of like a 2.8 maybe or something.
No, listen. Gerald Undone gave me these numbers, okay?
Okay.
So
then I friggin'
official.
believe it.
Yeah, I saw that video. I'm like, well, that's a big number jump, huh?
So
yeah, so if you're at 1.8, you're actually at 4.5, and if you're at 2.8, you're actually at 7.1.
Oh, got it.
So let's do this. Let's just go through the things that stick out as far as being specs and items, and then we'll discuss about how we feel.
All right,
about
cool. So we'll go back and forth.
You're delving into giving you your opinion before we already know what's going on. Right?
I love the camera.
I know. Back up. No headphone jack, so we know that, right?
No headphone jack. You got it. But you can
headphone jack.
You can see your levels. So
you could work around that. But if you're a true vlogger, you want a headphone jack, right? You want to make sure that your recording once you're done is there.
Yeah, it's a perk if you're a filmmaker, but I think if you're vlogging, most vloggers know from the levels, like the little green levels, that they're not clipping. They know what they can get away with. You know,
so also it's very similar, a lot of similarities to the A6600 at a much lower price point, right? So it's coming out at $750 until June, and then after that, it's going to go up to its normal price of $800.
I think more camera companies.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, and don't you think a lot of companies should be like, hey, if you order it within this first week, we'll take this much off. You know,
and that's what I think is a good thing. Sony's saying, hey, we really want you to get this camera. So if you get it right off the bat, you're going to save $50.
That's cool.
Because Sony doesn't change the price on their cameras, that often.
It's true.
It's not like
that's true.
You know, you go out there and you try to buy an A6300, it's still going to cost you what it almost cost when it came out.
It may be a new thing. You know why? Because most people who look, the Fujifilm X-T4 just came out. You know, there's a bunch of group of people that have the X-T3 that are like, you know what? I'll upgrade the X-T5. When the X-T5 comes out, this X-T4 will be cheaper. The prices will drop. You know, that's everyone's mentality since cameras are coming out so fast. So the camera companies now, what a smart thing to be like, hey, this is being released for 1 week. Get $50 off, you know?
Exactly. So that's a really good idea. I like it. What else they have? Obviously, they're using the same kind of batteries that we're used to dealing with from Sony, so they're garbage at this level.
It's small.
You know, the A6600 uses the same batteries that the A7 brands use, so that's a much better battery. But obviously, the A6400 and now this one, those are the kind of batteries that, you know, you need to buy a couple off the bat if you're actually going to take this camera out seriously.
For sure.
You know, whatever you're going to do with it. If you're going to shoot photography with it, go out on a day with it, if you're going to vlog with it, you can't go out there with just one battery and expect to be productive for that day.
Cool. I agree.
What do you got? You got a couple specs you want to share?
Yeah, I got it's a new microphone on top of the camera. I think that's very promising for future cameras as well. You know, I'm looking down the road. There's so many aftermarket microphones that you have to buy. And I've been really impressed with the GoPro. I've been vlogging on the GoPro just because its microphone is good enough. And
right. Which one is that? Which GoPro?
That's the GoPro 8. And not
the new one.
Yeah, and it's wide, it's got stabilization, and the microphone's good enough so that you can just have it in your pocket, and you could, if you're going to
whip it out,
whip it out. And I just did the birding photography. You know, the birding video I did where I went out and went birding. That was all on the GoPro, and it was good enough. You know, I'm not.
Wow, that was really good.
Yeah, and that was the microphone from the GoPro 8. My whole point is moving down the road, cameras with better onboard mics. is like exciting, where you could just not bring a microphone.
Yeah, I watched DP Reviews touch on it, and they record their whole video right off the camera.
Yeah, it sounded
and
good.
There were plenty of times they using the actual internal microphone. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, if that's all I was gonna run and gun with, I'm ready to
Yeah,
go. You know?
yeah, and that actually will motivate you to vlog more, because it becomes a pain when you have to bring, like some kind of stabilizer and some kind of microphone. Think about it's just in your pocket and the microphone's good enough, and it's got, I'll say my next spec, it's got stabilization, which is really promising.
Right. It's got the in-body stabilization, physical, as well as a electronic one, which when you use the two of them together, pretty damn
Yeah,
impressive.
it does crop in a little bit if you use that digital. It crops in just a bit, so your head will be like Moe's, not mine. You see mine's You're
That's two head jokes in one
yeah,
video.
totally sorry.
When I see you in person. Oh my God. Another good thing about it is it allows you to run it off of a USB port. For instance, a USB battery pack or something like that. For instance, if your battery dies and you have a USB port bank at home, you could plug in the actual cable and actually run it and continue recording, endlessly off of that battery pack until either the memory card fills up or you just get tired of looking at yourself. I mean, really.
Which happens in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't take much here. But I think that's pretty cool, especially if you're one of those people that are going to use it for talking head
for what
videos.
we're
You're
doing
going to use
here,
it for product stuff. You just keep that little battery pack on it and record as much as you want, take as many takes as you need to, and not have to worry about that battery
Now, I
dying
believe
out,
it's not USB-C, which is a little weird. Maybe to cut costs, but I believe it comes with USB.
Micro.
Yeah, USB micro. So you can power it off there, but it's like, come on, USB-C is starting to pop up everywhere.
You know what, though? USB-C is a big opening for such a small body.
That sounded dirty.
I mean,
say it again, slower.
Yeah, USB-C is such a big opening.
Stop it.
For such a small
This is
body.
rated G, the show. Come on. All right, wait. I'm going to bounce off something you just said, which was powering it up. Oh, yeah. The record limit on default is 10 minutes.
5.
Yeah, 5 minutes. But you can disable that, which is cool. So Sony made it you're able to record for unlimited.
Right, but at the same time, it's a heat thing. So if you leave it on, it'll power down when it gets too hot. If you disable it, you'll melt your camera. It doesn't care because you turned it off.
Don't you think it's a smart way for camera companies to be like, hey, we set the default, man. You can override the default at your own damn risk.
Yeah, it probably has one of those little, when you hit the menu, it probably says, "No, are you sure? Is this what you really
have
want?"
a fireproof house?
Yes. Is your pants asbestos? Is Mo wearing pants today?
Yeah, but it's camera companies are getting smarter with all the complaints. Hey, they're already saying that the default for recording is going to be, hey, it's 5-minute record limit, but you can override it. It's totally cool. I love that. I kind of love that. You know?
Right. Same thing. I mean, and obviously you could do endless recording on 1080p, if that's what you want. But a lot of bloggers are trying to be as cool as possible and eat all that 4K up.
It should be in the menu. It should be like, how cool are you? Somewhat cool, very cool.
Vlogger
cool is like 120, like slow mo.
Yeah. 120 bits per minute, or whatever.
20 bits per. You could tell we're not videographers or cool.
Yes, no, we're not either.
All right, I got one. If you got one, what you got? Go.
I got one. So a new standard profile for much better natural skin tone.
Oh yeah,
I like that idea because I like Sony's colors, but the purists out there, they're like, well, it's not really the best color program grading out there. Naturally, you have to definitely take that into post and work on it. No, this is a much better grading system naturally. Simpler.
Yeah,
standard
if you
profile.
want to, I noticed in Manny Ortiz's video that he actually had the RX-7 and the new ZV-1. He had both of them together, and you could see the color difference in the skin. Looks great.
Well, that's important because you know what? That's promising. Something they can actually export out, and you can actually be a firmware upgrade your A7
Yeah,
threes, your
match
A7
everything. Yeah.
R7, all those. That'd be amazing. If it's not, if it's more hardware related, then screw Sony. No, I'm kidding. I love
I was
Sony.
gonna say too, they have the skin smoothing as well. So it's new color science, but then they added like
Yes.
different levels of skin smoothing. So I mean, sometimes that gets a little gimmicky.
If
You
you're
know, if
that
you put it on 11,
right,
it, you turn
you go from me
Benjamin Button.
to
Yeah, yeah,
Gal Gadot.
They should have, instead of blurring backgrounds, they should have like faces that change. You're like Brad Pitt, Gal Gadot.
And they have the blurry background
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Well,
They were making fun of everyone makes fun of Samsung when they came out with the faux background blur, but now I guess because that's what the world wants, bokeh pictures and videos. Sony's decided to make you, one, the ability to be prettier, and two, make your background prettier so you don't have to look at all these crazy
yeah,
crap
but you know
in the
what?
back of my house.
I
here.
looked it up. It's they do blur the background. There's a setting, but it's not software. It's not. It's actually the camera doing what you would do. So it puts the ND filter down, and it will open up your aperture as wide as it goes, and then lower your ISO. Yeah. So I thought
That
it was the same thing you
explains.
said. I'm like, blur background. That's so phone.
Yeah. So that explains why the exposure bumps up.
I know,
when they
but
do
isn't
it
it cool that they do it mechanically? And so it saves you some steps. You don't
yeah,
have to put the
yeah.
ND filter down. You don't have to open up to 1.8. It's like, hey, this person wants to be super cool.
To be honest with you, even though there's no photography going on in my world right now, other than me escaping it once in a while, I really want to get this camera just to test it out because I like
Yeah.
a lot of it. I don't see it ever being my everyday camera. No, I shouldn't say that. I don't see it being my camera when I go out to do something seriously. But if I want to go out and just shoot and record some video, and if you pair it with the Sony little mini
Yeah, but
tripod it offers,
I'm gonna say
you're
you're
good to
a
go.
super EVF guy. You are always have the camera up instead of holding it out. So I think you would be missing out without an EVF.
Well, if I was going to shoot
Oh, you're saying
photos
to
with it,
video,
but
yeah.
yeah, no, specifically, I would get this camera to be a video camera, because think about how much. There's a lot of things you're going to give up, but think about how much easier
No.
it is than carrying an
Totally.
A7 III with a 25
Even-
millimeter
listen,
lens.
even-
Like again,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
even but I'm saying even though the A7 III with the 25 millimeter badass is pretty lightweight considering, this is
Yeah.
even more lightweight, and it's all about it, you just put it in your pocket. And you pull it out.
Oh, say that
Right.
slower.
No.
Well, I was going to say, look, this guy is tiny. This is the 6400, right? This has a 20 millimeter lens on it, but this would be in addition to my Fujifilm stuff that I'm shooting on the street. So if I'm trying to do like, hey, I'm doing street photography video today, I actually have to pack a whole camera and lens. But how great to just throw in the pocket this little RX. Sorry, not RX, ZV. Zedd.
Yeah, I honestly, I think at its price point, it's worth a investigational purchase. You know what? You have a couple of days to bring it back. If I don't like it,
Yeah,
obviously I
that's a good
will bring
point.
it back. But it's again under $800 for everything it is giving you. I mean, it's not the greatest
really
camera in the world.
good.
It's not the greatest video camera in the world. It's a lot
yeah.
of good
And
things
again,
in one place.
My number ones are the stabilization, the flip out screen, maybe the number one is a good microphone on it, because I don't want to start plugging in external microphones. And of course, Sony's autofocus is like out of this world. Sony haters want to always put down Sony, but they have the best autofocus. I've tried all the cameras, and it just locks for video. It locks on you. It doesn't hunt much. It doesn't focus breathe where you see weird little glitches.
Right, exactly. It also has the ability to give you the very fast responsive focus, or a nice gradual. Hey, I'll get there. How we doing?
Hey.
All right, nice to see you.
Hi.
Here I am.
Hello.
I'm focused. Nice to meet you.
Meanwhile, I use my Fujifilm. It is the X-T2, which is a little older. But if I put my hand up, it's like, what was that? Oh, face. And then you put your hand up, it's like, oh, face. Yeah.
Let me ask you something here, and actually, I'm asking you and every other Fuji person out there. what the hell is up with Fuji spitting out a camera every 3 months almost, it feels like. I mean, the X-T3
Yeah, I
just came out. You didn't even get a chance to feel like this is my great old camera. The X-T4 came out. Like, I mean, granted, there's a lot of stuff that's in the X-T4 that people have been clamoring for. But I think that, like, when you spend that much money, over $1,600 on a camera, you don't want the next year a new one to come out and take it over.
That's kind of sad. Like, people who maybe bought the X-T3 and wanted a flip-out screen, they feel gypped, man. Especially if they bought it within the last 3 or 4 months.
Did the X-T3 have IBIS or just the X-T4 now?
No IBIS on the X-T3.
I saw that. So that's what when I saw the IBIS on the X-T4, that's what I'm like, wait. The X-T3 just came out less than 18 months ago, right? For sure.
Yeah, totally.
So now less than 18 months later, there's a brand new, and it makes your camera look like crap. I mean, not just obsolete.
No,
I mean,
I would say that anyone that's into video would be excited about the X-T4. Like, they're going to go for the bigger battery, the flip-out screen, the IBIS. But if you're just a photographer, which I think most Fujifilm users are mainly photographers, then the X-T3 screen, where's my Fujis are too far, but we'll use this sacrilegiously. We'll use the Sony. To have a flip screen that flips up like this to look down when you're doing. No one wants the stupid like vloggy flip screen if they're doing photography. You know.
And that's another thing. That's the one thing about Fuji you can't take away from them. The X-T1 is still a great photography camera. You know what?
Yeah.
The X-T2 is butter beautiful. X-T3, I never used or shot on it, so I'll take your opinion on that when you practice with it. You used it for a little while. Was it great?
Yeah, it's great. It has more megapixels and the autofocus is slightly faster, but I think the sweet spot is the X-T2 line because, for cost now, if you buy it used, I mean,
$689 used. I was just looking at it this morning because I was debating.
Yeah, I gotta stop looking at used stuff because I want to own all of them. It's like almost like collecting statues. I'm like, I want the X-T1. I want the XE. I almost bought an Xe3, which is like their little street guy, you know,
with the hideaway screen, right?
It doesn't have a screen. That one. Oh no, the Xe3 is like a mini X Pro 2. X Pro 2 is another one that I wanted.
So, which is the one that has the screen that you can only see when you pull it out? Hey,
say that slow.
No, stop it. You're gonna get fined.
The one that you mean the one that can hide the back, like if you want to protect the LCD?
Yeah, is that the X Pro 2?
X Pro 3. That's the X Pro 3 where I felt that was a little gimmicky too. But I don't know. It was something different. So that one
back to the ZV1, which we
Zedd, excuse me.
The Zebra Victor 1. I feel that camera is going to be basically great for your brand new videographer / vlogger that wants to get into the game, and also it's going to be a great camera to start learning photography because it's cheaper than some of the RX 100s, most of the RX 100s, right? Yeah. I mean, you can buy the 5A. And you'll spend more money, you'll get a couple more things, but then you'll also give up a couple more things. So I think at $800 if you're thinking about buying a camera for video and photography, this might not be a bad place to spot. The only thing is you're going to be limited with lens. You're going to be stuck with a full 24 to 70 range.
If I would argue too that if someone is starting out to look at the Canon M50 because that's now $499 on sale. That's another one that I was going to buy, and I'm like, I don't need this camera.
No, you
and
don't.
I almost picked it up. No, and that guy has a flip out screen. You could throw a microphone on that guy, and it has great 1080p. I think if you want to do 4K, you should start looking at different cameras. But if you're shooting 1080p, that Canon 50D. That's a great little starter camera at $499,
And I think honestly, I'm one of those believers that 4K will have its time. I think it's just people don't need to rush out to put every one of their videos out on 4K. Most people are watching them on their phones, laptops, or iPads, which do not have 4K capability.
Yeah, but you know what? I will argue that I wish all people that are doing camera lens reviews I wish they would shoot in 4K because when I watch it on my monitor and they're like, hey, the pictures are sharp. No, they're not because you shot it in 1080p. You know,
Yeah.
so when I always shoot my like lens reviews in 4K because when I put my pictures up, resolution is 4K. That way you can almost pixel peep the video. You know, so I
No, it
don't
makes
know.
perfect sense. No, it makes perfect sense. That's exactly right. If you're going to do something that people need to eyeball specifically,
Yeah.
then you should be shooting it, putting them out at higher quality. But just like this kind of stuff here, if it's at 1080p, who cares?
Oh, we're at 720 probably.
450 and a ham sandwich.
450. Let's go 360, yo. What is
Yo.
it? That was the Square TV, wasn't it? 360p. Damn.
Oh yeah, that 480i. And
Yeah,
480p.
480i. That's what it was. 480i. Damn. That should be the name of our.
Interlace.
It should
Ooh,
have been our
my.
name of our podcast. 480i
480i.
coming at you. All like.
Are they recording on a VCR?
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh. Does anyone know what a VCR is?
Please. All right, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, I always tell people, you buy something entry level until you're sure what you want to do. So this probably is the best bet for that. I mean, this is more than entry level, but
I
at
like
the
it.
same
I might
time,
get it. I'm not lying.
I'm telling you, at this price point, I can't see why I shouldn't test it. Give it a run, see what it could do, and feel it up, touch it.
This shit was dirty.
Oh my! What's up with this episode? It must be the beard. It's back.
Innuendos.
Ooh, I love that word.
Oh my God. We just saw, by the way, this is a total aside, but we saw Austin Powers with our son. And the warning at the top says, hey, it's for mature audiences. And it just says sexual innuendos. And we're like, all right. And everything. I had forgotten that movie. It's like.
That wasn't innuendo. That was in your face.
Nothing is subtle. It's like,
Yeah.
are we going to shag, baby? Yeah.
Yeah, after that show, he's like, I'm going to watch it by myself. No, you're not. Get upstairs, boy.
All right, bro. I love you. We'll hook up again and do an episode for you guys. Those of you, again, that are new, try to subscribe because we are almost over 2,000. And we talk movies, tech, and, that kind of stuff.
Jump on the wagon before we're famous, okay? That's all we're saying. Speaking of movies, real quick, are you excited about the Zack Snyder Justice League release coming out March of 2021?
Well, if you know me, remember I don't keep track or watch any spoiler/teasers or anything, so I don't know anything about it.
So there's no spoilers involved. What's going on is Zack Snyder was the director of the Justice League. Something tragic happened that he had to abandon the rest of the production.
That's right, and someone else took
and
it
Josh
up.
Whedon took over.
Yeah.
And when you have two different directors that don't follow the same guideline, you have the trash that came out as the Justice League movie. I didn't hate it, but there was no way I could say I loved it. So Zach was hosting a watch party of Justice League. At the end of the watch party, he brings on Henry Cavill.
Oh.
And he says, one of the fans, they give him a Q&A period later on, and one of the fans asks, here's the question everyone's going to ask, and it's on everyone's lips. When are we going to see the Zack Snyder Justice League?
You mean
And then-
the stuff he filmed and edited his way, or redoing
Right, we'll
it?
talk about that in a second. So,
okay.
So he was like, you know what? I get that question a lot. Henry, what do you think? Henry's like, I think we should do it and we should let the people see it. So he said, you know what? We'll do it. So then HBO put out a little promo coming 2021, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Wow.
So they're probably going to do some reshoots, some refilming, because remember, he never finished the entire movie because he had that tragic situation. So he's going to go back and reshoot, re-edit it, change the composer,
Change the color grading, man.
change the color grading from puke to normal.
I
From
wanna see
diarrhea
Superman.
brown to
yeah. That's
So
super
I'm excited
cool.
about that.
Yeah, you got me excited. Did you see my eyes were like?
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. I saw that this morning. I was like,
Yeah, they say everything is in the edit. So anyone can take all this great footage that they got in dialogue. There's probably a bunch of deleted scenes. You could
Right.
you could refresh the movie into a different cut.
that's what it is like, and they're like, they probably won't do the same thing for the Suicide Squad, which had a whole bunch of stuff left on the film floor, but they said this is probably a one-time thing, and it's to give the fans what they've been asking for.
Cool.
So like, good for you.
That's great. I'll add one more thing. I kind of don't love Henry Cavill as Superman
Right.
until I saw him on an interview when he actually looked like I can't. They actually ruin him for the movies. They like slick back. They give him, you know what a lambe vaca is in Puerto Rico?
Yes, the old cowlick.
The cowlick lambe vaca is when an old man will grease up his hair. And I'm gonna link it right here. I'll link it for you, but I'll put a picture of Henry Cavill in this. He looks so much like Superman. You could see why he was cast, and they should have left his look like this, his normal hair, instead of trying to make him a little darker. And they colored his hair or something.
I think the Superman he plays in Man of Steel is as close to looking great as Superman as he ever got. I think once he went to Batman versus Superman and Justice League,
he was dirty.
They overdid him. They made him filthy. Yeah. And Ben Affleck actually tweeted out after the fact and said he's so excited, he can't wait for Zach to do this. And obviously that means if he's needed for refilming, he's in. I mean, that's awesome.
Oh, that is awesome.
I don't care what people says. He was my favorite Batman. Shut up.
Whoa!
Don't even at me.
Them fighting words with
Damn, it's fighting words.
All right, bro.
All right, we gave people too much. They don't know what to do with this. Oh my!
You know what? We should do all our camera stuff and all that in the beginning, and then stop with camera stuff. And then for the people who like comics and movies and stuff, we should have a part 2.
It makes sense because you know what? We can even put timestamps on. Say, hey, listen, if you just want to listen to the camera stuff, it's up to this point, whatever.
Yeah, it's up to this point. But I don't like the reverse. When people in the comments are like, if you want to hear about the Sony camera, skip to 8 minutes. Go suck it, mother.
Judgmental judgy.
Yeah, totally. All right, brah.
Juice.
All right, guys.
All right, good job.
We'll see you next time.
Spike.
Peace.
Good. High five over there.
High five is over here for me. You're on the other side. Yeah, right there.